So sometimes you want just that little bit more. Maybe you have a day where you're just feeling a little bit more energetic, where you feel like, you know what, I think I'm ready to add a little bit more to my practice. I'm not looking to have a full yoga sculpt class or something really hardcore and sweaty, but I also maybe want to spice things up just a little bit to fire up that core or make things just a little bit more challenging. I sometimes like to think about this as adding a little spark, right? Because it doesn't always take a lot for something really big to happen. And so I wanted to show you a few of my favorite ways to add a spark or that little bit of spice to your practice to kind of propel you into those big results. My very, very favorite, I'm just going to lead with my very favorite, is to add a little something into your sun salutations. So, for example, one way I love to do it is that we'll inhale tall, exhale as we fold, and we step back to that plank, nice strong plank, but before we lower down, we can add shoulder taps. You're doing at least two, maybe each way. Maybe you want to add a few more. Trying not to rock too far so that that core is nice and engaged, doing the work, then flowing into the rest of your salutation, firing up that core. Adding just that little spark in each of your salutations. I love that. Additionally, you can add something in your chair. So if you're taking a class, enjoying a video, and they have a chair and they're holding, you can add some pulses. Keep the weight in the heels here, those hips going back, and then continue into your flow. Always a good little addition. You can also add something where you're adding a twist or revolving. So it could be in a chair, revolving, maybe go both ways, right? You could happen in a lunge. Maybe you've been taking a few crescent lunges. You can revolve, add some challenge. You could also revolve with open arms. You can do that in a triangle as well. Bringing that top hand down and opening it. So adding a little twist, adding some revolution. All right, let's come down for your bridge. A couple of things. You could add some small weights on the hips to add a little bit if you want to take your bridge pose. I really like, my favorite is that as you press up, as you lower down, hover just off the mat and then come back up. Squeeze at the top as you lower down, hover just off the mat and then go back up. Nice. All right, another. If you're doing reclined pigeon and you're holding your stretch, I love reclined pigeon. You could bring the hands down by your side, palms down, pull that belly button in toward the spine, and reverse crunch your figure four, your reclined pigeon. So you get that lower core work and that stretch. And of course, both sides. Always doing both sides. One last one. You know, I like to give you five. So one last one. Again, for that core, if you come to your tabletop, stacking wrists under shoulders, hips under knees. If you tuck the toes under, you can lift those knees just off the mat, pull that core in. If you want a little more spice, you can first lift one leg and then the other. Maybe do two each time you press up, adding just that little more spice. Super fun. You can practice these individually. Again, just make sure you do both sides. Or if you want the work done for you, I have this short little flow that incorporates a lot of these. So enjoy and practice with me. All right, I'll see you next time.